I'm with you. I would just soon do away with type.
Well, but you can do something about it, because you can talk to the Corps.
I already am.
Okay.
We're having a discussion about, do we need to stay with this classification system that we have based on eggers and reed types? Because I don't disagree with you. Ken Powell and I have talked about, why don't we go to HGM classes? Because then we don't get hung up on vegetation plant community types. And we did a whole spiel with this, but you guys can comment on this. We at Bowser look at it and say, you know what, Bowser's done a lot of wetland restorations. When you look at RIM and CREP in the road program, we've done a lot of work. Our guys still can't guarantee that we go out and construct a site, we're going to get a certain plant community type that we identified in the plan. And we just think that's wrong. We're operating a system at a level that we don't have the precision to do. So we think we should be backing off that and not putting so much emphasis on type, but I think, like you said, let's focus on getting the wetland back there, and then we'll figure out some more general classification scheme to put these into accounts for use. So there's a dialogue going on like that right now. How far it goes, I don't know. The Corps is going to let us know how much they want to talk about this.
Because I hear that in comments, I hear we don't like type 3s.
I didn't hear the last part.
In comments from the Corps, I hear we don't like type 3s. Well,
Yeah. And do you know, do you know where that,
what?
do you know where that comes from? Steve Eggers did a study in the 90s looking at mitigation sites. And a lot of them have been, people went out and dug deep enough to make sure that they got water and they got type 3s. And so that was kind of the basis for the Corps, and I was there at the time when a lot of this policy was being driven. That they didn't want those types because it wasn't what was being impacted. Well, there's two problems with that. Number one, the mitigation programs have evolved to where, at least when Bowser's reviewing plans, we're looking to see that you're restoring what was there historically as best we can tell. And if it was a type 3, then it should be a type 3. That should be the target. And that kind of flies in the face of what the Corps' position is. They don't want type 3s. It's like, well, but if we're supposed to restore, which means put it back to what was there before, we should be putting a type 3 back there. The other thing is the Corps kind of infers that there are no type 3s being impacted. But I think there are. So those are completely appropriate mitigation sites to offset those type of impacts. So there's a lot of discussion going on about this right now. But I think that the Corps is pretty set in their ways on this. They've got some strong feelings on it. We're having a dialogue. Is it going to change? I don't know. But my take on it, one, you know, there's science that suggests that plant community types aren't the best way to do this. There's also me from a management standpoint overseeing the accounting system for banking, and this type thing creates a lot of problems. It adds complexity to all the transactions. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that we could avoid and put our resources towards something better than sitting there and going over pages of bank transactions and wetland types and credits and trying to match stuff and looking at the state and federal ledgers. We can spend our time doing better things. Questions keep coming. Yeah.
This flow chart, the bottom part of it disregards the watershed approach. If you're going to put priority over different bank service area over project-specific replacements, why did you?
Talking down here?
Yeah.
It's because depending on who you talk to, they may say that we prefer a bank credit over project-specific mitigation despite the watershed approach. But you could easily flip-flop these. It just depends on who you're talking to. So, yeah, I mean, there are certain people who don't want to have to deal with project-specific replacement anymore. There are those that say, no, it should be higher up on the priority list because of the watershed approach. So it's just kind of, that'll be something that'll be discussed, and where it ends up is kind of an agency issue to be worked out. But I hear what you're saying. And we'll have to see what the Corps says, because there are times when this would move up. Some say it should move up ahead of an advanced credit up there based on a watershed approach. Some say it should stay here, some say it should move up here, but we'll just have to work that out. But there are issues with the watershed approach for sure. Who else? We gonna get kicked out of here? Everyone's coming to life at like 4 o'clock.
15 minutes, but I'm gonna actually jump in and do a couple closing announcements, and then people can stay here until whenever. Usually we don't get kicked out, so if you wanna capture his time until dinner, I don't know.